It was 2 weeks before Thanksgiving when the call came. A baby boy was born with spina bifida last week and abandoned by his mother on the first day of his life. He didn't even have a name. To add to his trouble, he would have a shunt inserted to drain the spinal fluid off so that the pressure of swelling would be removed from his brain. Calls had been made to the adoption agency to place him, but the available family did not want a less than perfect child. Would we take him? God seemed to say yes. And he was ours by Christmas Day. What a special first Christmas that was at the Perham house. Ever since the dear baby Jesus, there's just something very special about a baby boy at Christmas. We named him Zechariah, which means in Hebrew, "The Lord hath remembered me." Truly, God had remembered this little boy without a name or a home at Christmas. Within 2 weeks, it was time for his operation, and all went well except for the recovery. Zechariah couldn't seem to wake up from the anesthesia. Firmly, the surgeon came and said he may not have very much longer. My wife called to have us pray for him. As the hours crawled on, she quietly rocked her baby boy and thanked the Lord for the days and hours they did have together. Zechariah slipped in and out for hours, then made a strong comeback. God was not ready for him to come home just yet. In the next 3 years, Zechariah grew steadily stronger. Reports that he would need a body brace gave way to a strong and healthy young boy. First he crawled, then he stood, and last year, at 3 years old, he took his first step. Now he walks with a walker and quad cane, and to the amazement of everyone, what Zechariah lacked in legs, God gave him in lungs. He has a sharp mind and a bold voice. Today, Zechariah Daniel Perham gives his testimony boldly and sings loudly for Jesus. Will he be a preacher one day? Only God knows that. But we are thankful for one very special baby boy who has greatly blessed our lives. The medical reports told the story. Her diagnosis was microcephaly. His was neurofibromatosis. But Priscilla and Stephen had greater problems than these. Coming from a battered and broken home, these children were placed by the state in a shelter and put up for adoption. When we met them, they were eager to be placed with a forever family. Priscilla was withdrawn and lived in a fantasy world. Stephen was just plain wild. At ages 6 and 3, they had seen and experienced many things which drastically affected their lives. Priscilla had a great fear of policemen, having seen her grandmother taken away in a police car for abuse. She had experienced the worst forms of abuse at the hands of her parents and other family members. Stephen was allowed to roam without discipline or control since birth. He now was a child at age 3 who rebelled against every form of authority. After adopting 9 other children, we were challenged beyond the limits of our own ability with these 2. Only God could help us salvage their little lives. As time went on, through much heartache, Priscilla began to deal with her past. As she adjusted to our family, she came out of her shell and began to grow in the Lord. Occasionally, she sings with our family, but she is still severely challenged mentally and experiences problems with adjustment. Stephen continues to have problems with authority, but his winning personality and loving heart are fertile ground for growth and change. We fully believe that God will help these children to grow and be useful in His service in the future.
These children are all children that have been abandoned by their parents at birth. They were given up to the state. They would have been raised by the state. If someone, be it us or someone else, did not adopt them out of the foster home they were in. We believe it was the will of God for us to have more children, and God was gracious enough to allow us the privilege of working with these children in this life. So when they sing for you, remember, they are not children that will ever meet the qualifications of what we might know as professional singers, or singers that are able to fully develop their talent. But what they have, they've given to God. Amen. That in and of itself, brothers and sisters, is the message that they sing.
Perham. I'm 10 years old. My mother was a crack cocaine addict. I had a stroke. My left side is paralyzed. And now I have a hole in my brain. I take well-known shots every day. But don't feel sorry for me. Because Psalm 1971 says, "It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes." I'm saved, and one day in heaven, God has a special job for me. And one day in heaven, I'll have a perfect body. Romans 12:1. To every brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is a reasonable service.
Amen.